I've been having so much fun, and overall I would probably say a lot of success using the new match plans tactics on MFL. One of the great things I love about MFL, Meta Football League, is that all the fixtures play on a set day and time. You know, you versus an opponent, and you lock in for the game, you get your team sheets in, and then you buckle up and just see how the game goes. And the introduction of match plans is the first step towards having some input into changing direction, changing tactics, of course, in-game, depending on the in-game situation. And with the mechanic on MFL of being able to go through the calendar and pre-setting your lineups and your teams ahead of schedule to just, flesh out your rotation, sort of do a dry run on how the team is going to be tested over a set period of fixtures and when will the rotation options really be needed to be called upon, etc. I've really found adding the match plans into this on a game-to-game basis bearing a good amount of fruit. In the video today, I'll be looking at the 4 clubs that I'm running at the moment across Flint, Ice, Stone and Iron. And like I said at the tip off to this, overall I would say they're all doing pretty well as a result of the match plans, and I'll kind of walk you through me doing them for some games that are coming up. By the time you're watching this video, these games will have played out, so feel free to go and check the results and you'll be able to see how the matches have actually panned out, knowing how we've set up for them, and hopefully some of this, just a thought experiment, a little kind of sidetrack into some match preparation could help you with getting the most out of your team, climbing the leaderboard, progression in the cup, whatever it might be. At any point in the video, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And if you're brand new to MFL and you've not opened up your account yet, the link is in the description of the video that will get you the best sign up bonuses available. At point of recording, it will get you some free player packs on spending $25, which is normally like buying a player pack in itself. And if you're after any sort of beginner tutorial content, all of those videos will be linked in the description of the video as well, so you can get up to speed with all the mechanics and how the game basically works. In this video today, we're kind of going deep diving into more game-to-game tactics and trying to optimize, the fixture you've got, home and away, the strength of the opponent, any rotations you need to manage, that sort of stuff, to try and squeeze those little 1% out that can make the difference in some of those tighter games, especially when the fixtures do pile up when it is cup group stage season. But yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it, because across the 4 clubs that I've been running this year, with the grassroots team, which is the try before you buy, the free-to-play squad, where you can go into the Flint division with a free club, and at the end of the year you can decide whether you want to mint it, you want to pay for it, you want to turn it into a fully fledged club and carry on your MFL career. So that's right at the foot of the food chain. We've then got a team that's in Ice, which is like 3 steps up the ladder, Stone, which I think is the division right above that, and then Iron, which again is the division right above that, and we're pushing into Silver with the top team getting into the kind of upper echelons of the game. Now, first and foremost, for the free-to-play club in the Flint division, I kind of threw a bit of a bad batch of players together. I did buy a player or two. Now, you don't actually need to buy any players, as a lot of you will know already, but I did go out and I spent maybe like $5 or something like that on like a defensive midfielder and maybe somebody else, I forget. Otherwise, I just ran into the market and basically looking at some of the attributes of the players, but mainly just looking at their positions and making sure that they were above a 55 level if at all possible. I just kind of threw a squad together with some of the dregs from my own agency. With me playing this game now for 9 seasons, I've got a bit of a stable of players that have been just kind of cycling around the development centre and some other places that can kind of cobble together in this division to form like a pretty decent outfit. We've won 4 games, we've scored 22 goals, and we've only conceded 3. And the top of the table in this is a real, it looks like there is a real dividing class here, doesn't it? A kind of top 5 or 6 and a bottom 5 or 6. This is a division that is going to be won and decided on the finest of margins. I lost my first league game to Caspian Leopards, who are now sitting top, one of 2 remaining undefeated teams here, 5 games into the season, and I lost my first cup game after making like full-scale rotations. So I would say this team's got off to a good start, because I've not even done like individual player instructions or anything. I've literally just made the best 11 and just rolled it out. And then when I'm jumping in and I'm looking at where the next fixtures are going here, with this team, I've not really done it beyond the next game or 2. I've just tried to keep it quite laser focused in. But now that we've came into cup season and fixtures start to double up, I think this requires a bit more time and a bit more attention, which is why I thought, well, let's just do this as the video, because I'm sure this is something that a lot of people will be able to get some extra ideas out of. So my next game at point of recording is my 2nd cup fixture, and again my plan is to just do a full rotation for this one, because the league is the most important thing I think for this little batch of guys. The first 2 cup games, I don't mind totally throwing them away to rotation. It gives me a chance to see if any of these guys are workable or usable, and really where any opportunities might come. Now, I think for this, we will try and give them a chance to win the game. It's probably something I want to put a bit more effort into, and I'm going to make the team a bit more defensive and trying to force them to play counter-attack here, because there is some pace in the backup guys. Drop the line a little bit, and then this will give us our first opportunity to set some tactics for this one. Okay, so for a team like this, it's going to be playing counter-attacking. If we're leading by one or more towards the end of the game, I'm going to want this team to shut up shop, where we're really going to pull that attacking width back in. We're going to go from being direct to balanced. Turn the crossing down as well, as low block as we can go. Press them a bit more, get at them. Now, if we're losing the game, so we want to be trailing by one, and really, how much time do we want to give this? Trailing by one or more after, you know, if this goes against us, we could concede like 1 or 2 in the first half, and I don't really want to wait until the 60th minute to turn it up here. So I may be thinking a half-time kind of thing where, yeah, at half-time if we're losing, we normalise the width, turn the team more offensive, and then, yeah, we probably just leave everything else as it is, but change the clearances to playing out from the back. Win second half. Now, these are quite conservative tactics because this is a highly rotated team, and I'm just looking to try and make sure that the backup guys can maybe try and get a bit of a result here in the second cup game, because I'm going to be playing them, and we did lose the first one, and I don't want to just get tossed out the cup. You know, if we can do a bit better, then brilliant. And then always make sure to save that, not only as the one that you've got set for the match itself, but also your preset tactics here. But the second game that we're going to come on to in this one is going to be a league match, and we are away to Nile Delta. Nile Delta is bottom of the table right now, minus 22 goals, so potentially a great game to add into the goal difference. And one thing I'm just thinking about now is the rotation between cup and midweek. Would I be maybe just as well rotating against the Nile Delta rather than the cup squad? Their best player is 46 rated, and yeah, for the Lynx boys, their best player is 66 rated. Now this straight away is the benefit of loading and saving all the tactics and everything, so I can just change this to the best 11 now with really no fear or no consequence. But one thing I will do is I'll set the match plans for this. No, I think we'll just go for it as we normally do, but I'm going to add in an attack time where after the 60th minute, if we're even, we really go for it. Can't remember what the base tactics are for this, so I'll double check them, but just kind of want to turn up the tempo on that. Yeah, we're on. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. After the 75 minutes, if we are leading by one or more, let's definitely think about trying to secure the result here. Narrow up a little bit, go more defensive. Out of possession, yet drop back a little bit more, and tighten in a little bit. Don't need to name. Shut up shop. Or sus. Let's just call it sus. There we go. Sus. Awesome. Save that, and I think I'll just save this into the tactics just as a base one for what we're doing here, in case I need to swap these around later, because this is now a game that we're playing the big boys for. We're then going to play the rotation guys. We've already set this plan out against the Nile Delta. Now when I switch this around, yeah, their best player is 45, so even my whole backups here, they should be fine to win this game. And with the tactics being maybe a wee bit on conservative, if we're winning towards the end of the game, or if at half-time we're trailing, I think we're well set for this game. We've already done a lot of the heavy lifting. And then for this team, I'll take it into the next set of fixtures just because I'm interested to see the strength of Viborg Valkyries here. Yeah, another cup game against a team that have a similar strength to me. So the cup is definitely, this year in the Aspirants Cup tier 93 where I am, it is much more competitive, and then Glebe to Glory is going to be a top 4 side. This is going to be a real battle, so this is the sort of thing I want to set tactics for with you here. So if we go to Viborg Valkyries, I'm probably going to have to do a bit of a mix and a match on the rotation here. Now all these guys by tomorrow will have, I think they'll be fine, but because it's 2 games in a day, then we go 24th double game again, 25, 26. Yeah, so resting that Nile Delta situation feels quite good actually. I actually just realised I've not been playing one of my better centre backs. Now this game, the match plans will be a bit different because this is a tighter game. So again, after the 75th minute, if I'm leading by one or more, I definitely want to try and just secure and get out of there. And with a good team, I still think we can be dangerous on the counter-attack. So I don't want to turn it all the way down, but I just want to tighten it up a bit and just make sure I can maybe do more crosses. We've got good passers in the team. Sus. And I'm going to put, if we're trailing early doors, I think I want to turn it up. Turn up the ante. at any point as soon as we go behind. I don't know if I want to go quite all the way to direct, but yeah, I think I will. I think we get good pace. We'll go with that. Up a gear. Up a gear. Wag. After the 30th minute, if we go behind, we go back at it. And if we're leading at the end, we chill. Good team for doing that. That's all set. That's lovely. And then we go away again to Glebe to Glory, which will be a real top of the table clash. I'm probably going to be playing the same team again. If I just load the boot camp team here and we go to the match plans for it. I'm looking to really, after the... I want to score in this game quite quickly. So I actually maybe just want to start this game more offensive. Get right at them from the beginning, start this game more attacking, and then if we go behind at any time, we'll turn on controlled and just try and work the ball better, but I still want us to be attacking and whatnot. But yeah, we'll go to controlled if we go behind. We'll maybe lift the team up a wee bit, and we'll call this one control. So if we go behind early, just we want to chill, and then again, leading by one or more towards the end. Sus. Now, at this level of the game, there is a real clear, like, good teams and bad teams, and the player ratings really show themselves up. Like this level, for example, you can see having the green dots, you know, they kind of separate some of the top and the bottom clubs, who has them and who doesn't. But as you go up the kind of pyramid, it's, you know, the same thing kind of happens, but it gets watered down, divisions get tighter, competition is more fierce. And the academy team I've got in Ice is in quite a similar situation to the team that we've got in Flint here. I do have some players that are like pushing towards the top end of the league in terms of how good they are, and you know, really it is just about maximising those 6-pointers as well as trying to do well in the cup. But really the team that is one of the great examples of managing matches and trying to you know, get the most out of a real hodgepodge of players is the FC Barcelona Foundation. This squad every season is built out of random players from the community here on the channel members, and every in-game MFL dollar or whatever we're calling the currency that this team wins gets fully distributed to the channel members that put players into the team. So every year it is a real new tactical workaround for, you know, like, how do these bunch of players go together, what tactics work in the game, what things can we try and exploit or lean into, etc. And so far we've played 5 games and we've not lost any of them, or 6 if you want to include the cup as well, which has been absolutely incredible. In 5 games we've conceded 4 goals, we've scored 10. Both of our strikers have been smashing the back of the net, with both Dawson and Datsenko as well are both on 5 goals apiece, have both got 1 assist. And yeah, assists haven't really been really spread across the team too much, considering the amount of goals that we've had in. Left back has got 2, centre mid has got 2, otherwise a few guys have got 1s. It's nothing too incredible. Progression so far for the squad, if we just do current season, we've had 1 full +1. For a Cam, he's went from 68 to 69. We've had a lot of nice +2s and +1s across the key players that have played matches so far. I think we'll get a nice spurt of progression coming in the next wave of matches if we can continue winning. We drew with We the Norse. We just always have a tough time with them, don't we? We won 3 games on the spin against Team Diamond, Ulrich United and Elche. We drew in the cup. We drew with Aarhus Elite. And if you look at the table, Work the Spaces, Chiba Shibas are reigning at the top of the table. He is definitely out for the cup this year, and looking at his tactics has been quite interesting, and look at the quality of the team that he's assembled. It's probably the best squad he's had in this competition this year, so the games against Work the Space will be good fun. He is, alongside me, one of the only undefeated teams left. I have drawn 2, he has won all 5. And there's basically a 4-goal difference in, but you know, it works out to be 6, doesn't it, with the swing, but not much between us, which is good crack. And we actually have him on the running order here, so we'll prepare to optimise for that game there. Oh no, I can't. It's too far away. I can't reveal it. Well, to be honest with you, other than the match tactics, which I'll keep to myself, right, because we will need to do that on the fly, because that will be fine margins. I just don't want to get back to him, really, what the plan is. But optimising this team has been a real difference maker. The strikers have scored the goals, which has been great. But I was going to say, as we look through the games, you'll see how the tactics have really paid off. But I think the first game is actually a really bad example. We scored in the 76th minute, and I'd definitely had some sort of shut up shop tactic kick in at that point, and we then conceded off the back of it. But looking at the team, as you'll see with the next bunch of results, this isn't the best 11 anymore. We've actually got a few more recruits into this, and it's strengthened the team overall. So there was also a little bit of a disparity between the best Barcelona Foundation team and from that game to now. Against We the Norse, both times that we went down, we had fight back goals for, which was brilliant to see. And, you know, we were really nail biting towards the end here. 90th minute, I think there ended up being like 4 or 5 minutes of added time on at the end, and it was like, oh, could we have maybe got a winner in this one? It was really, really tight. But this is a game where I knew it was going to be nip and tuck. We the Norths are always a bit difficult, aren't they? And I'm not saying if I didn't have that tactic on, I wouldn't have still had to fight back goals. Maybe I should have had something in to make sure this didn't happen. But again, it's with this kind of B team string of players. So we get in the draw. I was actually quite chuffed with that, to be honest. Not B team string, but you know, when we come to play against Team Diamond, you'll see we've got a new shape. We're 4-2-2-2, and we've got attacking mids. We've got centre defensive mids in. We've got a new left back. And, you know, the match tactics, we went up early in this game. We were winning 2-0 at half time. And the goal stopped at the 62nd minute, because once we got to that 75th minute mark, the clean sheet, how important is it? Probably not that important, really. We were winning by 3. The tactic was set to if we're winning by 1. So it's probably not too important in this case. But all the same, good to see we didn't concede any goals at the last stages of the game when we were shutting up shop and we were being more defensive. Against this Ulrich United, I don't actually think any of them would have kicked in, because we went behind early, but we weren't losing by half time. So we might have had, we would have had the winning, we'd have had shut up shop kick in, and we actually still managed to score a goal in the 91st minute here, which is nice. And then we had against Elche, and this is probably one of the main games I was thinking about, because the goalkeeper played an absolute blinder. It was a very tight game. We went in 1-0 up at half time, and then when that shut up shop tactic would have kicked in around the 75th minute mark, their XG didn't really fly away. We did concede a few more chances towards the end of the game, just the way you expect things to go. But we got out of a really tight game with a narrow victory. And, you know, had we still had the game be level and we had to maybe open the game up or something, this could have went slightly differently. So it's good to see that, again, because we've taken the lead, we've got that kind of match plan, because I've known that with this team, things are going to be super tight. And if we are narrowly winning, you know, we don't want to remain exposed all the way to the end. The amount of stoppage time goals that happened last season, for and against, but mainly against, it broke my heart. Last year was brutal. We have had a few of them go for us, so it's not all one-way traffic. But the new players coming in have made a big difference. I can't take anything away from that. Good players with good ratings is so much of the battle. But even when we come into the cup game here, now we did have a red card that maybe helped us, right? But this was full on, like, just don't lose. I had off some of these tactics set as well for even if we were drawing the game towards the end of the match, that we were just going to get on with it. We're just going to try and get it over the line. And that maybe worked against us, because I say they did get a red card and we didn't really push on towards the end. But with a fully rotated team, I was just buzzing that we got the draw. The red card doesn't really bother me too much, because I literally rotated every player, and that's the sort of thing I'm looking to do again. Now, I do need to work something out here, because one of the best players in the squad is a CM, and we've really got comfortable now with not playing CMs. So this guy we're going to need to have some sort of workaround with tactics and formations. We might need to do a bit more digging as we get into the season. But for the cup, I'm quite happy with how we ran in the first one, doing a full rotation. And with how tight the league is, I really do want to focus for the foundation on the league. Promotion for this team is the #1 priority. But this is a cup team that can definitely swing for the fences. We're away from home, so we're starting off in a kind of defensive posture, playing out from the back, looking to counter-attack, and the strikers have been doing the damage from doing this, and the backup strikers have not been too shabby themselves. We've got our set-piece takers taken, so that it doesn't matter who's playing and all that good stuff. But I do want to do an after 75th minute, if it's even, to go attacking to try and win the game at the end. Like if it's level in the last 15, that's one that I do want to add in for the cup here. Is just, let's just go for it, man. If we're drawn towards the end, let's just try and push the boat out a bit more, try and get the ball up the pitch. Go for the win, and again we'll do a wee shut up shop after 75 minutes, leading by 1 or more. After 30 minutes, if we're losing, let's just go attacking. Let's just go for it. You know, just try and turn it up in that sense, not overcomplicate it. Then we play in the league. Now, this is where we want to be playing our best team against St Etienne Crown. This is a team that we've played a bunch of times, we know a fair bit about, and the tactics have been really working the way they've been set here. I've not tried to overdo it too much. I've just tried to let cams be cams and strikers be strikers, and having the best players on, it's really just, you know, just done the trick for this team more than anything. If any of the cup performers really stand out, then I might not mind rotating them in, so it's a wee bit of audition period. The boy Pino here, yeah, doesn't convert well to CDM or to cam. Tell this boy to dribble a bit more, I think. And oh yeah, this guy, he's playmaker. Now St Etienne Crown, if we can look at them quickly, are currently 1-1 in the last 5, and they lost 3-1 to Shibas. They drew with Tyre, they lost to Aarhus, they lost to Ulrich, who we beat quite easily. If we have a look at their player ratings, they've got some good guys, not to be underestimated. I don't know if that suspension really affects our match or not. And we could go a bit deeper and look into the tactics, but it's actually quite a small squad, only 17 players, so I think that's going to be a game where yeah, we're going to probably win. We're at home. I'm just going to turn this from defensive to being balanced. I'm going to lift the depth up a little bit. Let the boys play out a bit more. At any time, if we go behind, we go attacking. And then this will be in the Rivals Cup, so we're just going to go for that rotation side again. We've got good players in here, so I really don't mind the wholesale changes. It's a nice rotation. It's a nice thing to have at your disposal as a full 11 swap around. And the league, like this cup, like it's fine. We're getting everyone minutes. There's only one player that's not featured actually, so we maybe need to squeeze him into a couple of these cup games also. But this one's away. Yeah, we're set up defensively. And yeah, at any time if we go behind in the second half, let's just go more attacking, more direct. After 60, if we're leading, no, I don't think we need to actually. We're already sitting defensively. So we're just maybe thinking about if we're losing. Let's also add in 45 minutes if we're trailing by 2 or more. And let's just really like throw the kitchen sink at it. What have we got to lose? Kind of idea, you know? Being aggressive as well. If we go 2 behind, let's just get right into their faces. Smash them. Get us right back into it, boys. Just realised I need to change my bombing set piece takers for this rotation side. And then yeah, we've got Shibas. Now for the big team I've got up in the Iron Division, I kind of feel I've maybe overdone it a little bit. And if I was to go through all these games with you, you'll see maybe the ones I've lost, like against Metaverse Wizards, I kind of went a bit more attacking against them. And all my programming was around if we were winning in the match. I didn't really have too much against like if we kept going behind, like what to do. And I don't think it really made much of a difference, but I did feel when this game was done, like, I kind of messed my tactics up in this one, because I did just get my pants pulled down. XG was, you know, it was quite tight, I suppose, but I don't think I really had enough to think about winning the game, especially considering he scored 3 goals. And yeah, I remember just my afterthought of this one was, maybe overkilled it a little bit there. And then I really tried to turn it down, ended up drawing away at home. And again, I didn't really program anything into this for if we were like drawing later in the game or we weren't winning, is kind of maybe the thought process. It was all just about if we get ahead at the end, let's shut up shop, everything you've kind of seen me do for the last team. And I thought, that was a game that we drew that I didn't really have the gear up to go for again. We went with this tactic against Calva. It's always a bit of a shell shocker trying to throw this at him with his back 5. And again, the match plans coming into this, I was just more thinking about at the end of the game, if we're winning, keeping it tight. And we're going quite attacking anyway, so it was quite hard to think about going behind and turning it up. So when he scored first, the match plan stuff kind of just went into the bin, especially due to the fact we never eventually went ahead in the game. And again, I thought, if we could have maybe had another option in that game that might have done something for us. Against Heat, it was maybe a bit more smooth sailing. We had a bit of rotation, had in the team a bit of change of shape. Might have caught him out a little bit there. And yeah, it was 3-0 without reply. It was, match plans didn't really come into it too much. And then I had a cup game where I won 4-0, which was nice. And this was a rotated team again, I'm sure it was. And yeah, there was a bit more onus on this one it was away from home. So I think I really put the focus on going more attacking in the second half or later in the game. If it was even, it's a cup match as well. You've seen the mentality I was just thinking about there for the cup, like try and win the game if you're not winning at some point. And second half is where all the goals came, essentially, because of that. Rotated goalkeeper and striker and a few other bits and bobs. And this team has only lost 1 game in the league, which is cool. Foundation hasn't lost any matches yet. The Academy has lost 2 games, so that's 3 losses I've collected this season. And the Grassroots team gets made to 5. So across 4 teams, we've lost 5 games and 6. So what's that? 6 games each plus a cup, 7. So in 28 matches, we've lost 5. I think that's pretty good going overall. We've scored a nice amount of goals as well. Some really good progression for all of the teams involved so far. But I have noticed already that progression isn't... Sometimes you notice early season, you'll get 1 or 2 guys that pop. I've not had much of that. I don't know about you guys. Feel free to let me know how you've went in the comment section of the video, of course. But this is just a little snippet, a little kind of how match plans have really developed my gameplay and helped me feel like I've got more control on how the team plays. And I'm still learning with it, as we've kind of went through in the video, in terms of those opportunities of not thinking about if the game's even, being in that kind of binary situation of winning or losing. Sometimes it can be, it's the last 15 minutes, it's even Stevens. Do we throw the kitchen sink at it? Do we shut up shop? How do we go about it? So there's so many different iterations, there's so many different scenarios you can think about. I only mainly use a couple of them, as you've seen in the video today, but you can use a maximum of 5 per match, and you can have a maximum of 10 locked and loaded in your little arsenal there. And if you've only got 1 team, or 2 teams or something, you maybe find it easier to really go into the, if we're drawn in the last 15 minutes, if we're losing after 10, and really flesh all that out to the fullest degree. I find managing 4 teams, just thinking about it in the binary sense of winning and losing, is very easy, and maybe a little bit of the learning curve is squeezing in that. Well, what if you're drawing at key points in the game? What do you want to do then? Now, we're playing Sheba Shebas on Thursday. We're always live on a Thursday here on the channel, so I'll be sure to make sure that we're watching that game live. We'll maybe adjust the live stream times for the members section, which we always do on a Thursday, so we can catch that big match, because that'll be good fun. Can't remember who else we're all playing on those days, but we've set a lot of the tactics for it as well. I hope you have enjoyed this one, guys. On screen and now some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. If you haven't done so already, please do hit like and subscribe for more content like this, and get into the comment section and let me know how you've been using match plans and what they've really done for your season so far, for better or for worse perhaps. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one.